Presidential candidate Nikki Haley says America is not only not a racist country now, she says America was never a racist country. But that dumbass comment is not as uncommon as you may think. That sentiment is not as uncommon as you may think. So we're going to address this briefly. And I'm going to give y'all the real on this shit. I'm going to explain to you why Republicans won't tell the truth about racism. And I'm going to tell you why some Democrats won't do it either. Not the full truth. But before I do, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy First, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button to put all you people on it. Of course, that comment was asinine. But I don't believe Nikki Haley said that out of a lack of knowledge. Shit, she's the former governor of the state of South Carolina. She knows what it is. Contrary to what she tries to pass as. You know, she calls herself a brown girl, but she does her best to try to pass as a white woman here. But she's faced racism. You know, her story is out there. If she got any goddamn sense, she know good and hell well if she used her real first name, probably never would have gotten as far in politics as she has. Hell, if she just used her last name, her birth last name, and not a married name, probably wouldn't have gotten as far. But her story's out there. But she can't tell the truth. Other goddamn politicians in the Republican Party who may not be racist, they can't tell the goddamn truth about that shit because that party is the party of the former Dixiecrats. That party is the party of the folks like Strom Thurmond, folks like Governor George Wallace, folks like Governor Barnett from Mississippi. Like those Southern Democrats that used to make up the Southern, the solid blue South. Those motherfuckers left the Democratic Party and moved into the Republican Party because of the race issue. Because it was a Democrat named Lyndon Baines Johnson that signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a Democrat by the name of Lyndon Baines Johnson that signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a Democrat by the name of Lyndon Baines Johnson that did the Fair Housing Act. And he was a racist as damn self, by the way. Listen to the tapes. Listen to the Johnson tapes. But the fact that he signed that legislation gave the Republican Party an opportunity. And they took that opportunity. They called it the Southern strategy. They wanted to go after these disillusioned Southern whites who thought that the Democratic Party was starting to cater too much to the black man and woman. So the Republican Party, they swooped them up. Even though many of these same folks in the South need some of those same programs that Democrat Lyndon Baines Johnson put in place, like Medicaid, Medicare, all that kind of shit. They need that shit too. Southern whites, I'm talking about now. They need that shit too. But they said, fuck that. We're going to go over here with the Republican, the conservative party, the so-called part of business, the tax cut party, the cut spending party. We're going to go to them. You know, we actually need motherfuckers to spend more money Fuck that though, because we gonna vote based on race. That's the biggest shit. Because we don't like these black folk. So no, they can't tell the truth about racism. They can't. Because that's gonna offend their voters, and then they're not gonna win. Because see, these books I be reading, I'm reading a book right now. That's a jarring book. This book's shaking my motherfucking soul, y'all. The book is called We Will Shoot Back. Okay. This book was recommended to me by my OG C. Lee McInnes. Y'all get that book, y'all. Get that book. You can buy that shit on your phone. Okay. I buy a lot of books on my phone. I had the motherfucking phone with me all the time. So shit. It's increased my reading. Okay. Get that book. And see, a lot of the shit that you're gonna read about, the lynchings, the murders, this shit going on in where I am, the 50s and 60s in this book. Many of these folks still alive. So these folks don't like to come to grips. See. It's easy for them to say, nobody who was enslaved is still alive, and nobody who wasn't in slavery is still alive. See, it's easy for them to say that and then try to say that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not responsible for that. You're holding me responsible for something that people did way back in the 1800s. Well, what about what your motherfucking granddaddy did, bitch? What about what your grandmama was out there cheering on, bitch? See, they don't like that. That make them too uncomfortable. See, my mom was born in 1947. So a lot of the shit I'm reading about in this book, my mom was very much alive for. Very much alive for. You know what I'm saying? So that means my mom was very much alive for this shit. A lot of their mamas and daddies and grandparents even were very much alive. Shit, some of them, the leading candidates, Trump and Biden, were alive for this shit. I ain't got to go all the way back to slavery. After slavery we went through 100 years of legal racial discrimination in this bitch in the South and de facto discrimination in the North, and we still deal with de facto discrimination to this day. And what I mean by de facto discrimination is just, it might not be codified, it might not be down on a piece of paper, but that shit still happens all the time because that has been the custom of America. And folks don't want to come to grips with that because it's too close to them. It's somebody in your family. You don't want to acknowledge that you got somebody that close to you who is fucking evil. Evil. You see, Americans love to point the fingers overseas and say Hamas is evil. Americans love to point to Kim Jong-un and say that son of a bitch is evil. Americans love to point to President Xi of China and say that he's violating his people's rights and not giving them freedom and shit. So he's evil. They like to point to Iran and say we got to keep them from getting a nuclear bomb because they're evil. They love to do that shit. They love to go back and point the finger at Adolf Hitler and say he's evil, or point the finger at the Japanese for what they did at Pearl Harbor and say they're evil, or point the finger at Osama bin Laden bitch ass and say that what he masterminded with 9/11 was evil. But it hit different when you got to acknowledge that your motherfucking uncle, granddaddy, them motherfuckers was evil. They don't like that. It makes them uncomfortable. They don't like that. Because see, then if you acknowledge that, then you got to look at yourself. You got to look at yourself and check yourself then, see. And that's an uncomfortable thought. That's an uncomfortable situation to be in. That's a conversation motherfuckers don't want to have. To look at yourself and say, damn, am I capable of doing what they did? Is that part of me? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't want to come to grips with that. But see, it's not only Republicans with this. And I'm not one of these motherfuckers that's finna both sides everything, because Democrats don't do that to that extent. Even if they have these sentiments there, they know they got to goddamn try to kiss our ass. I'm talking the white Democrats. They know they got to at least try to kiss our ass to win. Remember when George Floyd got lynched and them motherfuckers got down on their damn knee and their kente cloth, some of the dumbest shit I ever seen in my fucking life. Okay. But they know they got to do that. But even for the ones who aren't racist, I'm on the Democratic side. Even for the ones who really, really for real, like in their actions, when I listen to them, when I see their works, you know what I'm talking about, it seems like they are trying to be an ally of black people. Even they many times end up like praising George Washington or some shit. Like talking about how great he was and shit. They say shit like the founding fathers would be so disappointed in Donald Trump. Would they? Would they? Would they? They were fucking enslavers. They set the stage for this son bitch. He trying to uphold the system they put in place. That's his goddamn MO. White supremacy, that's what he's selling. I keep saying that's what differentiates him from every other conservative candidate who has opposed him. He's the one who's most willing to stand up there as a white man and say that, hell, I ain't got no problem with the Proud Boys. Proud Boys stand by and stand back and stand by, whatever that son bitch said. He's the motherfucker who's willing to say there were good people in Charlottesville on both sides when them goddamn neo-Nazis were out there. He's the one. He'll do that. He's the one that will call all these Latinos thugs and rapists, and I assume all of them are good people. He's the one who just unashamedly would say this racist ass shit. Publicly. Publicly now. A lot of them will say this shit behind closed doors. Motherfuckers say this shit publicly. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and them would have agreed with him on all those assessments. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and them were racist. They enslaved black people. So sometimes I see folks on the Democratic side don't like they try to dance around that truth because you don't want to give up your heroes. You know what I'm saying? These folks don't want to give up their heroes, man. So sometimes even folks with a good heart, it might jar them when they see that black people don't feel the same way about the so-called founding fathers that they feel. Because it's still hard for them to grasp our perspective. Because they don't come from that horror. And still dealing with the effects of that horror. You feel me? So America has some straightening to do. America has some truth telling to do. You can tell the truth about a country and still love it. I wonder if motherfuckers around here lying to themselves about their mate. I was talking to one of my young boys. I'm like, God damn, man, you in a relationship with somebody? Hell, I love my wife. Do I like everything my wife does? Hell no. I'm sure she don't like everything I goddamn do. But you gotta be real with each other. You gotta be real with each other. Then, hey, you make your decision after that. These motherfuckers want us to just tell our children that America is perfect. And that's a lie. Nikki Haley talking about when she tried to come back and fix the shit up. Of course, America has its struggles and all this type of stuff, but my mom and dad never told me that America's a racist country because then I'm gonna think I don't have a shot. No, fuck that. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit? That's like saying, "Oh, I ain't gonna tell a ball player, oh that hey, this team they play some good defense now. No, they gonna come out. They gonna be on you tonight. Like I'm just supposed to tell because that's gonna make them think that oh they're not gonna be able to score tonight. No, fuck that. I need to tell you exactly what the fuck you gonna face in this world. We need to tell our children what they're gonna be faced with so they can start preparing for that shit as soon as possible. I ain't talking about maybe like I ain't talking about robbing them of their innocence or anything like that. But I'm talking about once they're right to start having some of these conversations, especially by the time they're around that 5th, 6th grade, somewhere up in there. Okay, when you start seeing a change in your child, start seeing maturity. I have one. Okay, my baby in the 6th grade right now. I see that her intellect is changing. Okay, we're starting to have some tough discussions. Okay, I gotta get her ready for the world, Jack. You gotta get these kids ready for the world. You don't want them to get out here and be blindsided. That's when mistakes happen. You're out here in situations in this life that you're not prepared for. And these some bitches want us to lie to these children. No, fuck that. Everybody needs to know the truth. Everybody's truth. Now, Black History Month is coming up, fence. My youngers know I don't really do Black History Month in the traditional sense. When I was a history teacher, I never did a Black History project. I did not. Okay. I did a Black History program twice, and I was asked to do it. Okay. And we did a hell of a job, but it wasn't trying to tell all these facts and shit about our history. I do that every day. I tell everybody's truth every fucking day. Okay. So in those programs, it just was a celebration. It was called Movement in Music, and my kids did an amazing job, both at William Sullivan High School, formerly in Durant, Mississippi, and at Belma Jackson High School in Camden, Mississippi. Shout out to all my youngins who participated in that. Y'all did an amazing job. Okay. If y'all watching this and y'all have copies of your performances, please get them to me. Okay. Hit me up in my DM on Instagram and get those shits to me. Okay. But I digress. But in terms of the Black History program, writing these reports and all that kind of shit, no. Y'all ain't got to do that. I'm going to tell y'all the truth every goddamn day. Okay. Now, last year, I started to do something fun on my socials with Black History Month. Just doing Black History fun facts, talking about how we all be saving these goddamn plastic bags and talking about what street lights meant to us in our community, and talking about the different ways our mamas and daddies used to whoop our ass. Just having fun. I'm gonna do something fun this year. Okay? Why? Because I tell the whole fucking truth all year. So tell the truth. If you gotta lie about America to convince these kids to love America, the question is, should the kids love America then? Think about that. As a parent, if your child was trying to get your blessing to marry somebody and all they fed you was lies about the person, they ain't give you none of the real shit about the person. All they told you was just the good about the person. You gonna sanction that marriage? Hmm. You gonna sanction that marriage when you ask them some real shit? Well, how they? Well, what about this situation? What about this? Well, everything. He sounds perfect. He can't be perfect. You like everything, and they can't answer your question. They dodge that. You gonna sanction that? That ain't real. That ain't life. That ain't life. And it's not only our country that has its flaws and its negativity in its history. Everywhere has that. So why should America be the one to try to hide that shit? Because we're so exceptional? What exception? We could be exceptional if we got this shit right. Imagine if we could get the race question finally right and stop this bullshit. Oh God, we would be so exceptional. Nobody could fuck with us. Nobody. I don't give a damn what the Chinese trying to do. They could not fuck with us. They couldn't. I don't give a fuck what the Russians are trying to do. They could not fuck with us if we could get the race question right. Because we're not only pulling brilliance from one particular group of people like they are, we're pulling brilliance from all different kinds of people and all different cultures. Okay? So if we can stop this bullshit, ain't no way they can fuck with us. But if we keep on with what we're doing right now, and because of this bullshit, we letting a motherfucker like Donald John Trump be this close from the presidency again, or we keep Joe Biden in that bitch because we feel like he the only motherfucker that can keep that some bitch from being president. That's why he there. That's why Joe Biden won. Because folks felt like the folks in the Democratic primary felt like we got to get an old white man to defeat this old white man. It's still kowtowing to racism. If we can get this shit right, we'd undoubtedly have another American century. No doubt in my mind. Maybe another 200 years of clearly being the most dominant country on earth. These folks couldn't fuck with us. But if you got a lie to kick it, something wrong. So don't lie to your kids about America. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. So if there's something they don't like, don't tell them that bullshit, America, love it or leave it. Tell them the truth about America. And tell them, if there's something that you don't like about it, change it. Put it on something.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel, because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.